Hello, my welcome to After Dark. To do a little bit of the there last night, because I do have listeners all around the world now. In Kent, Ohio, there's a place called State where we went and did an investigation with some really good friends of mine, actually. Patty and Lance and the whole game from Spirit Rising and the guys from EVP, Eric and Tom, everybody. Anyways, so we did this investigation there, and they were telling us as they were giving us a tour some details about the place. It was built in 1927. It was originally intended, and it did serve for a short time, as a vaudevillian theater. They told us some of the spirits that they've come into contact with over the years, including one that always hangs out in this one emergency exit off to stage right. And beautiful theater, by the way, beautiful stage. The whole place is just, it's amazing. And it is much bigger than it appears just on the first floor. I mean, there's an upstairs area that's primarily apartments that I didn't really check out. Hold on one second. Anyways, so we're told about this one individual in particular that I had a pretty cool. There was actually two I had pretty cool interactions with, and I feel like my team had cool interactions with. One was a gentleman named. All they knew about Thomas was that in that one exit to stage right, he would appear there as this huge shadow figure. They didn't know anything else about him, really. And I feel like we uncovered some things last night. And I feel like I kind of shocked some people because they've had psychics and everything in that building, and nobody picked up on really much of anything substantial about him. And then I went there last night, and for those that have listened for a while, you already know this, but for my new listeners, I've had an ability since the age of 5 when I had a near-death experience. I actually see spirits. And what I mean by see them, I don't think of it as a psychic ability. I think it's a very physical one. I think that I actually see in a spectrum of light that is not visible to 99.99% of the entire human population. So I think I'm kind of a rarity. That's not to say that I'm special or whatever. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. Trust me, I've got flaws just like everybody else. But I do see them, and I see them very clearly when they're showing themselves. They can actively hide me. There's something actively hide from me every time I encounter them. I still know that they're there. I don't see them. Or I see them kind of, but it's really vague. The only way I can explain it is picture like you're on one side of a waterfall and you're looking at somebody else on the other side of the waterfall. You can kind of see them, but just really like the shapes and like squiggly lines. when they hide from me, that's kind of what it's like. But the farther they step back, the harder it is to see them until, like, eventually I can't see them anymore at all. But I still know that they're there. Because, like, not only is there seeing, there's also feeling. But anyways, I digress. So I saw this gentleman, and during the tour, and I asked the lady, I forget her name. I'm horrible with names, by the way. I have to know you for a while before I remember your name. That's just how I am. And also, anything to do with time, like dates. I will never remember dates. I don't remember birthdays or anniversaries. I'm Native American. I'm stuck on native time. We have no concept of it. But I'm also horrible with names, so forgive me. But the wonderful lady that owns the building was giving us, my group, because they'd split us up into different groups, she was giving Mike the tour. And I went up to her during the tour and said, about Thomas, has anybody ever described him as being a black man? And she had this kind of, like, shocked look on her face, like part shock and part, like, she didn't know whether to believe me or not. And but anyhow, like, what was cool is during our investigation, he himself kind of confirmed that he is African American, and he likes the term African American, by the way, for anybody that ever investigates there again. He does not like the term black. I'm really damn certain he wouldn't like the term Negro either. So he likes African American. I think probably because he had never actually heard it put that way before. Because back in his day, which I'm assuming is at least 1940s, like, they were most often referred to by the N-word. So, anyways, we were doing, like, this combination of EVP session and flashlight interaction, where he would turn the flashlight on and off to answer yes or no questions. And I even asked him, do you like the term African American? And the light came on. But what we got through our investigation was that he was African American. I saw him, like, he looked to me like just the way he was dressed, like a blue collar kind of guy. And I kind of assumed early on that he was probably something like a stagehand, or maybe the guy that does the projection lights or something. But it turns out from him, he's a stagehand. In the flashlight interaction, because we were asking, were you stagehand, and the light came on. And, I know that people don't believe in the thing with the flashlight, but if done properly, it's actually pretty accurate, in my opinion. And I'll get that thing later, or in another show, whatever. But we got that he was a stagehand. He was distracted by, he was infatuated with a African American woman who was, I think, some kind of actress or performer of some sort, who, from what I gather, was probably rehearsing on stage while he was doing something. And he was up on this ladder, and he was distracted and lost his balance and fell to his death. I don't know if that's, verifiably true or not. That's just what we've heard. From that investigation. It could be, it is always possible. It could be just a spirit messing with us or whatever. And it's never verifiable until, it comes from multiple sources. But just the fact that that's information they didn't have before was very exciting to me, and it made me feel like, like vindicated, I guess you could say. Like we're doing things the right way. So that was very cool. The other individual that that we came into contact with, and these two were actually the ones I was actually kind of seeking out the entire time, because I knew everybody else was going to be looking for like, the people that were really like at the forefront of what was going on there. And I always kind of feel more drawn to like these background characters that like kind of everybody overlooks a lot of the time, but it's usually those that have the most information in my experience. So we were taken downstairs into the basement area, and there's a spot down there that's set up for catering. And we were told that back before it was catering, when they were excavating these tunnels that exist underneath the theater, that they had found the body of a homeless man down there, and that he to this day was never identified. And so, and this was told to us like during the tour, and I don't know why. A lot of times I just let the spirits lead me to do things or to go places. I don't totally open myself up, but I open myself up enough that, I'm just kind of like in my head, I'm like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? And, but something told me to ask the question on my EVP recorder. I have a real-time EVP recorder on my phone, and I have a digital audio recorder, which didn't capture the response. Only the one on my phone did. But I asked the question, so you're unidentified. Well, here's your chance, man. Can you tell us your name? And in my ear, because I had earbuds in with the real-time EVP recorder, in my ear I heard clear as day, Paul. Like, did you say Paul? And it goes, yeah. Alright, Paul, well, nice to meet you. And then I told him that we would come back later. And we did. And, I asked Paul a bunch of questions, like, and some he didn't answer. Not vocally, but, like, sometimes they can give me, like these, I guess you could call them impressions, of their life, and, some details just come to me that way. But he didn't say it at first, but I kind of gathered that he was a homeless veteran. And I've been homeless, and I'm a veteran myself, so I definitely relate. And so I asked the question, why were you homeless? And he didn't answer that one. And then I asked, why were you down here? Didn't answer that one. At that point he'd stopped talking to us, and that's when Thomas came down to catering. He wasn't even up in the exit area where he's always seen. He actually came down to catering to talk to us. In my mind, actually further validated everything that was going on. But anyways, let me see if I can find. They're not labeled as far as like what they say, but I'm going to attempt to find this EVP of when it came down. I think it's the last one we recorded for night. Might be this one. hold on a second, folks, because I don't know if they guessed that I could be doing a radio show right now, but for some reason, somebody's setting off fireworks right down the street from my house right now. And I don't know if you're actually picking that up or not, but I'm going to wait until it's over to start playing EVPs again. Just because I am a little bit OCD when it comes to what I even call evidence, because evidence is what you show other people to try and convince them that the paranormal is real. I don't really care if anybody else believes it. I only need to prove it to myself, so I call it proof. But, potato, potato. So I'm going to take this time to jump in the chat room and see what's going on, who's on, and all that good stuff. Maybe give out some shout outs to some of my listeners. Assuming anybody's actually in the chat room. Which sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. But either way, I'm always happy to have listeners, regardless whether they're in my chat or not. Because without them, I wouldn't be doing this. Pretty simple, really. Oh, by the way, kind of a side note, and I hope he's listening. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to embarrass him. But there is a really good friend of mine in the paranormal community. I will say that he is a member of Spirit Rising Paranormal, and he's a great guy. I've always felt he was a great guy, and he's a hell of an investigator. He went through some hard times. I've been there myself, and he is now 25 months clean and sober. And I just want to say, I'm damn proud of you, Bobby. Damn proud. I know what that's like in there. I'm 27 years clean, and I still struggle every day. Every day, and it never goes away. But what does is that struggle, that fight, you learn to love it. You learn to love the struggle. So I think you're close to there. If you're not, there. But it just amazes me. It does. It amazes me. And I know you're gonna make it. So I just wanted you to know that, and keep charging, man. That's all there is to it. Okay, jokers, come on, enough with the fireworks already. See, this is why I can't wait until my basement's done, because I'm actually soundproofing my basement, because A, I want my studio to do this show, and B, I got myself a drum set, and I don't want to piss off the neighbors. So, yeah. Anyways, also, for those that don't know, we were literally right down the street from Glendale area. And this house that I'm living in now was built in 1919. So if you hear voices come through my microphone that aren't mine, don't freak out. It's just our ghost. And we have a few. Well, let me put it to you this way. Right now, because we're still setting up the house. Because this move happened somewhat recently. So I have been staying here while Nora has been moving out of the apartment and cleaning the apartment and everything. I've been staying here with my new dog, Nacho, who is this lovely pit bull mastiff mix. And somebody had to stay here with him, so I've been staying in his room, and I'm still in his room because we haven't set everything up yet. But it's kind of funny. I was saying on one of my other shows, he's very sensitive to spirits, like most animals are, and I think that's kind of what bonded us in a way, is because I think we can see in the same visual range, or pretty close to it, that most people don't see anymore, which is mostly a psychosomatic thing because of the way that we're raised, really. Because if you think about it, children and animals always see stuff. It's not until we're older and society encroaches and says, well, no, these things don't exist, yada, 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 that we start to lose these abilities because we have innocent minds. Prior to that, we don't know the world's opinion on the paranormal. We don't know their opinion on things, and we haven't yet been shaped by the world. So, anyway, so he stuff and reacts to stuff, and it's funny. In the room, there's a closet, and inside the closet is where I keep his food and other stuff, like his leash and stuff. And I open the closet to feed him his food, and he'll start growling. And he's not at me, and it's not necessarily an angry growl. It's not like he's like, it's more like, but he's not even looking at me. He's looking past me into the closet, like at the top of the closet. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I know there's stuff here, so I just assume there's a spirit, in the closet, showing itself behind me to where I can't see it into. And then one day I open the closet, but it's this freaking orb. And it's a legit orb. It's about the size of a softball. And it was hanging out in the top right corner of the closet. Like it was trying to hide from me, but I was too quick when I opened the door and I saw it. Anyway, this is great. So evidently fireworks have stopped, so let's start this. I'm going to shut up and just let you guys listen. So here we go. So I'm turning my fan off to eliminate that noise. So here we go.
Hi, Paul. We're back.
Okay, it does come across a little bit faint, but I hear it. I actually hear it a little bit clearer without the earbuds in for some reason. But what I hear is no. Like, I'm asking him if he could say the name Paul into this device, and he said no. I think Paul was being a bit of a smartass. But I'm going to rewind this and we will listen again. Okay, so I don't know if you heard it, but I actually hear like three different words, but like he says something something no. But I can't quite make out the first two. So I'm going to rewind it one more time. speak really loud because everyone else is being loud. Yeah, that comment, by the way, everyone else being loud, it it was true. Like, and I don't know who was being loud. I have no idea. There were other teams there for sure, but it was bad enough that the walls were like super thin in there, and we could hear everything going on the other side of the wall, even when they weren't being loud. Even when they were being quiet, we could hear like whispers and stuff. Um, and so some of what you may hear, I can probably debunk. Also, but there were people down there being extra loud, like boisterously loud, like no regard for anybody else loud. Now, normally that wouldn't be such a big deal to me, but because the walls were paper thin and the way that the sound carried down in the basement of that place, or down in the tunnels, was ridiculous. And we were striving at every turn to be quiet, as to not pollute other people's EVPs. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, so that's what that comment was about. So please don't be offended by it. Even if you were the ones being loud, just, maybe next time you won't be. So there you have it. Anyways, continuing on. Alright, stopping it because I only have, about a minute 20 left to explain to my new listeners. I get 45 minutes of recording time through Spreaker. I can record as many times as I want. Sets. So, do you know where I will be right back with part 2 of tonight's show? Stay tuned.